The Bible does not teach that Christians never feel down or anxious or greatly troubled. The book of Psalms is a great assurance of this. I've said before, as we've been working through the Psalms, the book of Psalms is an inspired book of prayers that God has said, here, you're going to need these. Here, you're going to need these, okay? And some of them, as you're growing up or as you're reading through them, you might read and say, that's a really striking one. I'm not sure I can relate to that. And you should always append to that, yet. Yet. Well, no, there's a good chance it'll come. There's a good chance, give it a few years, give it a few decades, there's a good chance at some point, as you're reading through the Psalter over and over again, praying the Psalter over and over again, singing the Psalter over and over again, there'll be a line in there that you thought, that's, I guess some people really, it's that way for them, and it's going to come, and it's going to come back around, and you're going to say, yeah, that's how I feel. That's exactly what it's like right here. And so when you're down in particular, when you're greatly troubled, when you can't stop crying, you say, well, I know I'm a Christian. I'm supposed to be joyful, and it's just tough. Pick up a psalm like Psalm 6 and say, yeah. Yes. Right? Is your soul greatly troubled? Are your bones aching? Is it affecting you physically? Can you not stop? It feels like you can't stop. Psalm 6. The Bible does not teach that Christians never feel down, never feel anxious, never feel troubled, never feel panicked. No. Again, we're not Stoics. Rather, the Bible teaches that Christians know what to do with their trouble. The problem is not the trouble. If you live in this world, you're going to face trouble. Everyone is going to face trouble of some sort. Everyone in this fallen world will face trouble. The problem is in itself is not you experiencing the trouble. The question is, what do you do with your trouble? What do you do with it? What do you do with the heartache? What do you do with the tears? What do you do with that feeling that you just can't shake? The Bible teaches that Christians are not people that don't face trouble. Christians are people who know what to do with their trouble. In Philippians 4, it says, rejoice always. And that's the place where Paul says, well, let me just say it again. Rejoice always. Right? Again, I say rejoice. And he says, maintain self-control. Let your meekness be known to all men. Because the Lord is at hand, because the Lord is with us, because the Lord is present. And then it says that this means we ought not be anxious about anything. And some of you say, see, that's what it says, and so I'm anxious. And it says don't be anxious, but I'm anxious. Keep reading. Keep reading. But by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, make your requests known to God. That's Philippians 4, 4-6. It's not never be anxious at all, period, full stop. And if you feel a slight hint of anxiety, too bad for you. Maybe you're not a Christian. No, it says be anxious for nothing, and then explains how to not be given to anxiety, how to not be given over to anxiousness constantly. How can you do that? Paul explains. By prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, make your requests known to God. Bring your trouble to God. Bring your trouble to God with thanksgiving. And the next verse is, and that the peace of God, which passes all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. That's Philippians 4, 7. So this is the basic biblical outline for dealing with depression, anxiety, and panic. This is the basic biblical outline for dealing with depression, anxiety, and panic. Practice rejoicing. Rejoice always. Sing a psalm. Sing a hymn. You don't feel like it. Sing. Sing louder. Sing it again. Again, I say rejoice. Remember that God is with you. And then present your requests to God with thanksgiving. Pour your heart out to God. Pour your tears out to God. Tell him all your trouble in no uncertain terms. While Christians are certainly to fight depression and fight anxiety and fight panic, they are to fight it primarily by bringing it to God. And as often as it is coming to you, bring it to Him. You say, well, that's a lot. Okay. Well then, it's a lot. How many of the Psalms are about great trouble? A lot. A lot of them are. So you feel the trouble, you feel the anxiety, what do? Bring it to God. Pour out your heart to God. It comes, you give. It comes, you pour it out. You fight it by bringing it to God.